Hey guys, sorry, but before I had a phone call coming in, I had to cut it short, but I was pretty much finished anyway. But here's one. Here's a scenario I was thinking about just the other day that I should talk about. This is not an early childhood one. This is coming up for being almost 30 years old. Am I 30 years old? I'm 30 years old. That stage. 30. Yeah, 31, 32. So, like, you'd think I'd grown up by that stage. But you get into these relationships, right? You have this... So the subject here is a little bit along INFJ ghosting. And I suppose I should step back a bit. We're talking about another relationship then. We're going back to a different country and sort of got to the stage in a relationship, how many years in? 7 or 8 years in. And I love this girl. I thought I knew what love was. Anyway, I think so. I was a bit broken for a couple of years, so I think I must have. And it just happened one day that it just didn't feel right. Something felt wrong, and I actually I threw that thing up. Hey man, I said to her, "Do you actually love me?" Because I didn't think she did. And the answer wasn't forthcoming. I said, "Okay, righto, gotcha. Okay, give it a few months. Think about it. Let me know. It's important to me." So, people probably think, a couple of days later, they've forgotten. A week later, 2 weeks later, they've forgotten. So, anyway, that'll come to an end. I pulled the pin on it. Went through all. I went cold, switched off, planned my exit, all that sort of stuff. Talked about it too. We split up all the gear, and it was an amicable exit. But fast forward to a few years later. So this bird that I used to work with, still after this other relationship in a different country, and like a year or so after that, sort of got together with her. She had just broken up with another bloke, and that I think she loved. Anyway, I was good for her, but I don't think she was good for me. And she went a bit nuts. She actually went down. She moved. It was funny. Not funny at all, but it was funny. I'd moved in with her. We got a flat. The dogs, the whole thing. We were sort of setting all the place up. Proper relationship thing. And I just remember it was a Friday morning, and she was a bit weird that morning in bed, just waking up and wanted a bit of attention. It's weird that some of the things she said. And then after work, she worked late. After work, she actually got me to drop her back to work because she had to do some extra work. And that was quite common for her to do extra work. Anyway, I dropped her back, and thinking that a few hours later, I'll have to go and pick her up from work. And funny thing was though, I got a call like midnight from her dad. Her mum and dad had broken up. I got a call from midnight from her dad saying that, hey, did you know that this bird, his daughter, my missus, was in a different town, was in a different city? It's like, no, she's at work, mate. No, mate, no. Apparently she'd got a taxi from where I dropped her off, jumped on to the airport, gone down to see her ex, which she was still a bit broken about, and then had a little hissy fit in front of him, snuck up at his place. She'd worked out where he was, and he was a cop as well, so it was a little bit weird. And so in front of him, she took a whole bunch of sleeping tablets. Said she's going to end it, you know. It's just like, wow. So I got on all right with him. I organised the mother, because she's in the nutcase ward by that stage, because she's, you know, had to get taken away in an ambulance, and I mean, a cop's got to say what's happened. She took a whole lot of tablets, you know, so she's on psych watch. So anyway, I just had to organise. I had to convince the mother to get on a plane with me to go and pick her up out of the. No, not yet. Shit's happening, and had to convince the mother to get on a plane with me and go and, because I think I would have needed her to break her out of because we weren't married or anything like that. So, you know, I would have needed her to somehow get her out of the psych ward, get her on a plane back to where we were, different state as well. So, you know, there's different jurisdictions and stuff. So it gets messy between states. You know, imagine someone being locked up in a psych ward in a different state, another end of the country. You can't do nothing about it, you know. So anyway, we had, you know, like, and we're actually, you know, in the car with the cop ex-boyfriend. You know, yeah, it was funny. He knew the back entrances and stuff like that of how all that works at the hospital where it was, and you know, it was his town. And he said, oh look, if we have to break her out of here, we'll park the car over here and we'll make a run for the airport, because we've got a booking for the airport to get her, you know, we've got a seat booked for her. And so it was good. We were getting on all right. We're planning this all out. Anyway, in the end, we did manage to amicably get it done, you know, get her released, knowing that she was in, you know, basically he was a cop, I was there, the mother was there. There was obviously no, you know, drama as such, except for her, all in her head. So yeah, I had this bird that was then in love with her ex. And we had a place together and all that. It just, so that was, you know, that was good. Yeah, that was good. You know, like, sort of, you know, barely just got over the other drama with the other chick, and then this come along. Boom. So at some stage, you know, like as an INFJ, you go into you go into protection, self-preservation mode, but at the same time you also, I'm lecturing her parents, telling them how that they should be, because half of the problems that she's got is because of when they broke up and all this sort of stuff. Half the sulking she's got is about, you know, the father hanging around with like feral junkie chicks and stuff like that are just sort of using him for something, you know. He thinks they like him or something like that, but they're really just using him. So she's disappointed with him for all this sort of stuff, but realistically, he's probably finding more that those people are more real, more authentic than the wife that that left him to run off with some other bloke, and the daughters that are a bit sort of, they act like little princesses. Actually, both the sisters, they were very much princess mode once, and nice people and stuff, but still, princesses are princesses, right? And so he was probably, the junkie girls were probably more authentic. It's my theory. And I'd met some of those girls. They seemed, I could talk to them. The missus, she couldn't talk to them because she had preconceived ideas and, laid all those judgments on them just in the tone that she was, like talking down to them and stuff like that. But anyway, so, I had to go and sort of sort those relationships out. I had to sort of dealing with the ex as well to get out. Then I had to deal with all the psychologists and all the psychiatric nurses that would come around, and that she'd been, she actually had to go into some sort of special hospital that was for crazies. And it took, quite a few weeks to get her out of there. In the meantime, in there, they loaded her up with all the drugs, all the antipsychotics and all that sort of thing. Then you get these nurses come round visiting, they're some sort of community thing, I don't know, but they were sort of saying, hey, it shouldn't have been on all those, this big list of antipsychotics and antidepressants and all this mix of stuff is just all of the things on their own were way past the dosage that is anywhere near safe. But still, we managed to get her out, and we had to sort of, go and suicide-proof the house and all that sort of thing. And that's the sort of thing I can do. I can think 12 steps ahead for everything. And it was, I had to take a couple of weeks off work and make sure I was there all the time and stuff like that, and organise people when I wasn't. But in that time off, I planned my escape. Bit by bit, I went and got a storage unit nearby my work, and I would take bit by bit in such a way that it wasn't noticed. And I funnily enough, whenever I leave an area, whenever I make a box to put stuff in. It's funny. It's usually a plywood box or something. In this case, I made some furniture and stuff. It was to keep me occupied and have an excuse to be there. But I made some furniture and stuff like that. And one was a day bed. It was like, no, that was actually, I did the same thing when I left the other bird. I built a bed, and that was my bed. That was, I moved. Okay, we're broken up now. I've made my own bed. I've made my bed. Oh, Jesus, that's weird. But yeah, I managed to plan this escape. I planned it in such a way that I felt that she was stable enough. I worked out it was all just attention-seeking shit. And I knew that the thing, as soon as I went to go, she would go for the tablets again, the sleeping pills. And I knew she had some. I knew where they were all the time, and I counted them. And it was funny. The night that I left, I took the pills. I took the last bits out the side entrance, and she was on to me. She started noticing things were gone. She'd come out in a dressing gown. I said, no, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. I'm gone, And it was quite cold. She was banging on the door. And then she worked out, because I went and drove up to my brother's place an hour away, three quarters of an hour away. Halfway there, I threw the tablets out on the road, spilt them all out on the road and the highway. And but it was funny. She'd rang up her dad and said that I was going to take them because she knew that they were missing. And it was quite funny. What really had happened is that she was pissed off that she couldn't take them. So she twisted it around that I was going to take them. So he rang up her dad and said he's going to take these pills. He's going to try and kill himself. I was like, no, dummy, I'm not like that. And I said, no, mate, don't you worry about me, sunshine. You just worry about your daughter. They've already gone out on the highway. They've already been tipped out. Right? I took them before I left to make sure that she couldn't have it. And so now it's all on you, sunshine, to put the effort into your daughter, because she's just trying to eat me alive. I think Amber Heard's doing that to Johnny Depp. I think I've taken sides. Anyway. That stuff shapes your psyche and stuff like that, and that's not like born or created. That's fully on created, right? You know, when you're 30-something years old, you got to put up with that shit again. You know. Yeah. That's a good story, right? Happy days. I'm out.